Hey guys, and welcome back. Today I have for you another cooking video. We are going to be using the Gardein beefless grounds. JD found these at Walmart. They're a lot cheaper, or maybe not a lot cheaper, but they are cheaper than some of the other plant-based meats that they have. And I wanted to make a shepherd's pie, and so that's what we're gonna do today. Fun fact, I have actually never made a shepherd's pie before, but I wanted to make one. So I read a bunch of recipes and I just made a vegan version and just used kind of what I had on hand, because that is the type of cook that I am. I kind of just make stuff up with whatever I have. So that's what we're doing today.
So the first thing we're going to do is in this pot get our potato starter for the mashed potatoes. This is about 4 medium-sized potatoes, cut and peeled and in seasoned cold water. So that's a really good tip for making really great mashed potatoes, is make sure that you have your potatoes cut and peeled around the same size and in cold water, so that everything comes up to temperature at the same time, so that all of the potatoes cook nice and through, and then you can mash them up and it's super easy. And then while we do this, we're going to go ahead and get our vegetable filling going. So this is what we'll be using for our filling. You can definitely use whatever you have on hand. This is what I had. So we have the Gardein beefless crumbles. We got half an onion, about a cup each of chopped mushrooms, corn, and peas. If I had carrots, I totally would have put those in too. In our cast iron skillet, we are going to put some oil and get the onion sauteing. I'm using a cast iron skillet just because I love cooking with cast iron skillets, and I know that I'm going to have to put it into the oven, so I just wanted to use something that I can cook everything in without having to transfer everything. If you don't have a cast iron, you can definitely use just a regular pan and then put everything into a separate 13x9 dish or whatever you have available. So once the onions have started to sweat and they become nice and fragrant, we're going to go ahead and add in the Gardein beefless crumbles. Because this is a plant-based protein, you don't have to cook it all the way through or worry about if it's going to be raw because it's made from plants, but we just want to brown it up a little bit to help bring out some more of that meaty flavor that we are looking for. And then once we've gotten our crumbles to start to brown a little bit, we're going to go ahead and add in our mushrooms. So I love to put mushrooms in everything. I'm a huge mushroom fan, so I just was looking for a very nice meaty and hearty flavor, and so that's why we're putting it into the veggie filling. You could definitely do this filling with lentils or beans, anything that will really help bring out that meaty flavor that you're looking for in a shepherd's pie. So you don't have to really use the beefless crumbles. If you wanted, you can definitely do lentils and add in a bunch of other flavors to help get that meaty, hearty flavor profile that you're going for. I don't know how many times I can say meaty and hearty. We're going to go ahead and season up our filling. I am putting some garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper. This is kind of just my base seasoning, and I always taste and then I definitely add more seasoning. A lot of times with vegan recipes, they ask for a lot of seasoning because sometimes it can be really bland, and a lot of people think that, oh, you're just eating vegetables and it doesn't taste very good. So season it up. Just careful on the salt. So I forgot to film the part where I actually added some tomato paste and Worcestershire sauce. If you don't have Worcestershire sauce, you can definitely use barbecue sauce. It's a nice alternative. It helps give it a little smoky flavor, so I definitely like to add that into a lot of my recipes where I'm trying to replicate that meat flavor. So once we've got that done, we're going to go ahead and add in our corn and peas and any of your other veggies that you have that you want to put into your shepherd's pie. I am using frozen peas and frozen corn. I'm pretty sure you could just get like a bag of frozen mixed vegetables and put that in, then it's just super easy. You don't really have to think about what you're putting in there. But really, this is a great recipe for kind of getting rid of leftovers. Anything that's about to go bad in your fridge, just throw it in there. So I just added in maybe a 1/4 cup of veggie broth with like a tablespoon of cornstarch mixed in there, because we are making like a little gravy so that the shepherd's pie is nice and juicy once we get it in the oven. I always like to just start with a little bit of broth and the cornstarch to help thicken it, and then I just go ahead and add in more veggie broth as needed to get that nice consistency that we are looking for. So we're basically just gonna keep cooking this and letting all the flavors just mold and melt into each other so that it tastes really, really good. So just as I was finishing the filling, I decided to taste it, and it definitely needed more seasoning. So I went ahead and just added more seasoning in, the same garlic powder, onion powder, a little extra pepper, and just a pinch of salt to help bring out more of the flavors that I was looking for, because the last thing you want is bland food. So again, season it up. So once this is done cooking, we're just gonna let it sit there, and then we're going to get working on these potatoes. The potatoes here are just finishing up boiling, and so I transferred the potatoes into my mixing bowl, my stand mixer. You could just use a potato masher. I don't have one. This is just the way I've always made mashed potatoes, and it's super easy. You just throw them in the stand mixer and whip them up. It gets them really nice and fluffy. It's fast, it's easy, and you don't have to work super hard. And then another tip for really good mashed potatoes is make sure when you're adding your wet ingredients, like your milk and butter, you want those at the same temperature as the potatoes, because if you add something cold to the hot potato mixture, it'll tend to seize up, and then you won't have very fluffy mashed potatoes, and they'll be really chunky, and it's just going to be like a stiff mess. So heat up your milk and your butter. I just used about a 1/2 cup of plant-based butter. Plant-based milk, and then a couple tablespoons of the vegan butter. How I flavor my mashed potatoes is I always put garlic powder and Italian seasoning, and then a little bit of salt and pepper, and of course more butter if I need it. You can see it is so fluffy. I just added the rest of the milk and butter mixture, and it has come together so beautifully. And I like my mashed potatoes to have just a little bit of chunks in it, just for some texture, but you can definitely beat this for longer. And of course, you do not have to use a stand mixer. You can use a potato masher, but it's easier for me that way. Alright, so now we are putting the mashed potatoes on top of our lovely vegetable filling, and we're just going to smooth it out with an offset spatula. And then once we have it all done, I just took a fork and just texturized the top. You do not have to do this part, but I just wanted to make it look pretty. I'm just topping it with some paprika and some Italian seasoning. Put it in the oven at 350. And this is the final product.
Okay, we are trying our shepherd's pie. You wanna try the first bite?
Yeah, please.
It's hot.
No.
Okay, I'll try it first, Jade. Ooh, hot. Mmm, so good. Mmm. Your turn. What do you think?
Okay.
Is it good?
Yeah. Chocolate.
Well, there you have it. The toddler speaks. It's delicious. It's really hot though. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, don't forget to ring the bell and subscribe for more videos like this, and maybe some more videos featuring this one. So yeah, thanks so much guys. Until next time.